Welcome to Alpha Traveler. My name is Mazen Al-Angary and today I'll be taking you to Budapest. Budapest, or as the Hungarians call it, Budapest, is the capital city of Hungary and one of the largest European capital cities in the Union. It used to be two cities in the past, Buda on the west, Pest on the east, which occupied both sides of the Danube River. This amazing city has a lot to offer, with many things to see, so let's start with what connects these two cities, the Chain Bridge. It's one of the city's suspension bridges that spans the river Danube between Buda and Pest, the western and eastern sides, of course, of Budapest. Designed by British engineer William Clark, it was the first permanent bridge across the Danube in Hungary and was first opened in 1849. On the Pest side of the river, it is anchored to Széchenyi Square, and on the Buda side to Adam Clark Square, near the lower end of the Castle Hill funicular leading to Buda Castle. The stone lions have been carved by sculptor Janusz Marchelko. At the time of its construction, it was regarded as one of the modern world's engineering wonders, decorated by cast iron radiating calm respect, confidence, and balance, making it a symbol of unity. Going back to the Pest side and heading to the Hungarian Parliament building, we find this memorial site, the Shoes on the Danube bank. Conceived by film director Kánto Gály, he created it on the east bank of the Danube River with sculptor Gyula Power to honor Budapest Jews who were killed by fascist-era cross-execution brigade in Budapest during World War II. They were ordered to take off their shoes and were shot at the edge of the water so that their bodies would fall into the river to be carried away. The site represents their shoes left behind on the banks, and I must say, it is an eerie sight to say the least. The Hungarian Parliament building is one of Europe's oldest legislative buildings and notable landmarks of Hungary and a popular tourist site in Budapest. It lies on the banks of the Danube. Currently, it's the largest building in Hungary, and with the height of 96 meters, that's 315 feet, it is one of the two tallest buildings in Budapest, along with St. Stephen Basilica. The Parliament building itself is built in the Gothic Revival style, while the dome is Renaissance Revival architecture. The building has 27 gates, 29 staircases, and 691 rooms, including more than 200 offices. The building was inaugurated on the 1000th anniversary of the country back in 1896 and was completed in 1904. About 40 million bricks, 500,000 precious stones, and 40 kilograms or 88 pounds of gold were used. Due to its extensive surface and its detailed handiwork, the building is almost always under renovation. Located close to the Parliament is St. Stephen Basilica. This Roman Catholic basilica is named in honor of Stefan, the first king of Hungary. It is the most important church building in Hungary and one of the most significant tourist attractions. The architectural style is neoclassic. It has a Greek cross-ground plan, while the facade is anchored by two large bell towers. The San Stefan Basilica has played an active role in the musical community since 1905. The head organist of the church have always been very highly regarded musicians. And we are lucky today to watch this wedding take place. Not far off from the basilica, we will find the Dohany Street Synagogue, which is the largest synagogue in Europe and one of the largest in the world. It was built between 1854 and 1859 in the Moorish Revival style with decorations based on the Islamic design from North Africa and medieval Spain. The synagogue was bombed by the Hungarian pro-Nazi Arrow-Cross Party. It was used as a base for the German radio and also as a stable during the World War II. The building suffered from severe damage from aerial raids during the Nazi occupation, but especially during the siege of Budapest. The Central Synagogue in Manhattan, New York City, is a near exact copy of the Dohany Street Synagogue. Behind the synagogue, we find the Raoul Wallenberg Memorial Park, home to the Holocaust Memorial. This memorial, also known as the Emmanuel tree, is a weeping willow tree with names of Hungarian Jews killed during the Holocaust inscribed on each leaf. Before I take you shopping, let's pass by Café Gerbud, which is one of the greatest and most traditional coffee houses in Europe. Although the company started in 1858 by Henrik Kugler, he decided later on to move his store to the city center in 1870. The customers of that time most favored his coffee and candy, but Kugler pies were also well known because for the first time it was possible to take them home wrapped in a paper tray. This coffee shop has a very long history and offers a wide selection of delicious foods and drinks. But what I would like to talk about is a special cake called Dobos cake or Dobos tort, which is a Hungarian sponge cake layered with chocolate buttercream and topped with a hard caramel that prevents it from drying out. The 5-layered pastry is named after its inventor, Joseph Dobos, who back in 1885 aimed to create a simple but elegant cake that would last longer than other pastries in an age when cooling techniques were limited. Since we're here, I would like to mention that although Gerbude Cafe falls closer to the higher end of the pricing spectrum, food in Budapest overall tends to be relatively cheap in most cases while being very tasty and imaginative. Now that we're ready, time to head to one of Budapest's most famous streets. Váci Street features a large number of restaurants and shops catering primarily to the tourist market. That stretches a little over a mile between Vörösmarty Square and the Great Market Hall. On one side you'll find the street mostly lined by fashion stores, while the other is better known for its gift shops and bistros. That said, as a rule of thumb, whenever you find an area that attracts tourists, it usually attracts scam artists and hustlers as well. So be vigilant and don't fall for their tricks, even if they claim that it's their birthday. As I mentioned, Váci Street leads to the Great Market Hall, which is the largest and oldest indoor market in Budapest. The idea of building such a large market hall was brought up by the first mayor of Budapest, Károly Kemérmayer, and it was his largest investment. He retired in 1896, so when the building was completed, he participated in the opening ceremony as a citizen. The market offers a huge variety of stalls occupying 3 floors. Stalls on the ground floor offer produce, meats, pastries, candies, spices, such as paprika of course, plus caviar among other delicacies. The second floor has mainly eateries and souvenirs, while the basement contains butcher shops, fish markets, and pickles. The Central Market Hall is one of the most popular attractions in the city among both locals and tourists. Keep in mind that it's closed on Sundays. Time to enjoy some folklore. Hungarian dance refers to the folk dances practiced and performed by Hungarians, both amongst the populations native to Hungary and its neighbors. What is interesting to note is that the moves are not bound by rules. The dancer constructs his steps according to his mood and ingenuity, since Hungarians have an exceptionally well-developed sense of rhythm. If you would like to get live updates about Alpha Traveler and where I am traveling to, you can follow my Instagram account, Al-Angary. Not only would you get a chance to see what I see, you can also find the location from all around the world of where I took my photos or videos. And of course, you can get full-length videos about cities I visit by subscribing to this channel. So since this is ad time, here's a chance for you to subscribe and click on that button. You can do it, just click it. Back to our trip. Let's cross the chain bridge so that we would reach Buda Castle District. This area consists of the historical Buda Castle and Palace complex of the Hungarian kings, which are built on the southern tip of the castle hill. North of that, we find the Castle District, which is famous for its medieval Baroque and 19th century houses, churches, and public buildings. It is linked to Clark Adams Square and the Chain Bridge by the Castle Hill funicular. You can explore the castle itself and the Castle Hill district with all the museums there. The castle is part of Budapest World Heritage Sites, which was declared as such in 1987. Close by, you will reach the Trinity Square. There, you can find other attractions like Matthias Church, which was originally built by Saint Stephen, King of Hungary, in 1015. Next to the Matthias Church, you will also find the Fisherman Bastion, which is a terrace in the Neo-Gothic and Neo-Romanesque style situated on the Buda bank of the Danube. Its seven towers represents the seven Magyar tribes that settled in the Carpathian Basin in 896. The bastion takes its name from the Guild of Fishermen who were responsible for defending the stretch of the city walls in the Middle Ages. It is a viewing terrace with many stairs and walking pathways. Besides the monuments, restaurants, and cafes at the Budapest Castle district, you get a breathtaking panorama of the Danube with the Chain Bridge, the Parliament building, and the whole pest side of the city on the opposite side of the river. It's ideal to spend some romantic time there. Before we leave the Buda side of the city, let's move on to Galer Hill. There we will find Liberty Statue, or Freedom Statue, which was first erected in 1947 in remembrance of what was then referred to as the Soviet liberation of Hungary during World War II. The 14-meter or 46 feet tall bronze statue stands atop a 26-meter or 85 feet pedestal and holds a palm leaf. Two smaller statues are also present around the base. Its inscription was changed from the day it was built. Now it translates to the memory of all those who sacrificed their lives for the independence, freedom, and prosperity of Hungary. Heading back to Pest again, I will take you to a very special avenue, one of which was the reason why they called Budapest Paris of the East. I'm talking about Andrassy Avenue. This boulevard dates back to 1872, and with its neo-Renaissance mansions and facade, it was recognized as a World Heritage Site in 2002. It is also one of Budapest's main shopping streets with fine restaurants and cafes among many embassies and luxury boutiques. Let's stop here for a minute to admire the architecture. Can you see how it resembles Paris? That struck me when I first walked here. This scene is from Paris. And now, back to Budapest. You really feel like you have been teleported to Paris as soon as you set foot here. While still at Andrassy Avenue, we can find important locations such as the Hungarian State Opera House, which was opened to the public in 1884. The decoration of the symmetrical facade follows a musical theme. The foyer features marble columns, while iron lamps illuminate the wide stone staircase and the main entrance. The vast sweeping staircase was an important element of the opera house, as it allowed ladies of that time to show off their new gowns. Before we leave Andrassy Avenue, I would like to pass by one interesting location to say the least: the notorious House of Terror, which is now a museum containing exhibits related to the fascist and communist regimes in the 20th century Hungary, and is also a memorial to the victims of those regimes, including those detained, interrogated, tortured, and killed in this very building. Unfortunately, visitors are not allowed to take photos or use video cameras inside the building. But since we brought up the whole communist regime, let's grab a ride to Memento Park, which is an open-air museum where you can find a number of communist statues and monuments. There you will see statues of Lenin, Marx, as well as several Hungarian communist leaders. The Memento Park is located on the Buda side of the city, and since it's off the beaten path, you will need to get a tour bus or a cab. But if you decide to take a taxi, make sure to secure your return trip or ask the taxi driver to wait for you. Now let's return to Andrassy Avenue, where close by you'll find a square that celebrates independence and freedom, the Heroes Square, with its iconic statue complex featuring the seven chieftains of the Magyar and other important national leaders, as well as the tomb of the unknown soldier. Around the square, you can find the Museum of Fine Art and the city park. Since we're here, let's take a stroll in the city park and get some fresh air. This beautiful, peaceful park has a delightful little secret. When I went there, I was using my phone's GPS walking around, looking for the statue of the chronicler Anonymous, yet couldn't find it. But what I found was breathtaking. I stumbled upon Vajdahunyad Castle that was built in 1896 in the center of the park. The castle was designed to feature copies of several landmark buildings from different parts of the Kingdom of Hungary, especially the Hunyad Castle in Transylvania, which is now part of Romania. While filming the castle, I looked behind me to find hidden under the shade the statue of the chronicler Anonymous, or Anonymous Sobra, who was believed to live in the 12th century. The figure's gender and identity are unknown, hence the name Anonymous. Yet the figure was known to have wrote the chronicle Gesta Hungarorum, or Deeds of the Hungarians. Back to the castle. Interestingly enough, when this romantic castle was originally built, it was made from cardboard and wood, but it became so famous and popular that it was rebuilt from stone and bricks between 1904 and 1908. Today, it houses the Museum of Hungarian Agriculture, the biggest agriculture museum in Europe. This side of Budapest packs a lot of locations to visit and explore. So, I hope you got your bathing suits with you, since we have to check out Széchenyi baths. And don't worry if you're not ready with your swimwear, you can purchase them from inside the bath's main hall. Széchenyi is the largest medical bath in Europe. Its water is supplied by two thermal springs with 74 degrees Celsius or 165 Fahrenheit temperature and 77 degrees Celsius, which is 171 Fahrenheit respectively. With all the minerals it includes, they are known to help with degenerative joint illness, chronic and subacute joint inflammations, as well as orthopedic treatments. Exploring Budapest is very easy, since most of Budapest city center and historic districts are suitable for walking. That said, the city has many options for both locals and tourists to commute, since the city offers an excellent public transportation system that includes taxis which have a clear tariff structure. The city also offers streetcars, trams, as well as metro subway systems and, of course, buses. You can buy tickets that can be used for all the available public transportation systems from any station or street stand or newsstand or even a vending machine. They offer a lot of convenient options ranging from tickets for 1, 3, 7, 10, or even 14 days. But keep one important thing in mind when buying tickets. You must validate your ticket at a ticket punching machine when starting your trip. Otherwise, you will pay a substantial fine when caught with an invalid ticket. One more thing to bear in mind. Tram number 2 is known to be the most scenic tram journey in Europe, since it passes by most of the important tourist locations in Budapest. And of course, always look for information stands that are scattered all around the city to book your tours or buy tickets. Talking about all those options to explore Budapest gets me in the mood for something a little different. Let's head to Margaret Island in a tuk-tuk, which can be hired around the city center area.
Now, in 1848, we had a civil war against the Habsburgs. We lost. After that, 25 years, 30 years went down, no Hungarians were allowed to say a bare word in politics. We were banished from our own politics. Now in like 1870, 67 or something like that, 1870s was the decade when the emperor finally let us get back politics in our more capable hands. That's when we get back control in our hands. That's when they started to build out Pest side more. That's when they united the two cities. For example, that's when they started to build Andrássy Avenue with the Hero Square in the end, which is now a part of the World Heritage, a UNESCO World Heritage. And with the Hungarian one. So they came up in the 19th century that we are not descendants of the Huns. We are actually Finnish people.
Oh, this is what they told me.
We are, I don't know, we are the Vikings or what, I don't know what.
Located in the middle of the Danube River and in the middle of Budapest, between both sides is Margaret Island. The island is mostly covered by landscape parks and is a popular recreational area. It offers a water park, a tiny zoo featuring a wide range of exotic animals, an open-air theater, and of course, the musical fountain. The island has two hotels that give access to a thermal spa and various medical services. You can explore the island by renting a 4-person cycle car or a small electric car. As I mentioned before, overall costs of traveling and eating in Budapest is relatively low. Yet you do get a lot for what you pay for, in terms of both portions and value, making Budapest a great destination for anyone who wants to immerse themselves in a rich culture and long heritage, or to spend a romantic time with your significant other without breaking the bank. Hungarians are a very proud nation with outstanding hospitality and friendliness.